Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, end user deletes $5,000 and asks us to pay up. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. End user deletes $5,000 and asks us to pay up. Inciting incident. December 20XX. Client is having an error message on their registers, caused by a corrupt file. This is solved by deleting a specific file, one that, by chance, stores offline credit card transactions. Since this is actual sales, it's important that a copy of this file be made in advance, just in case there are sales to replay. Due to time zone difference, time constraints, and the end user not wanting to do a phone call, a brief back-and-forth discussion happens, ending thusly. $Izzy, hey, so I know you're having dollar issue again. I've emailed you the instructions on how to do this, though I'm sure you're familiar with all the other times we've done this. Please remember to copy that file onto a flash drive. Those are important sales information, and will be lost if a copy isn't made. Aurelia, there's nothing in the file anyway. I'll just delete it. Izzy, I'll need a copy of the file regardless, for record purposes. March 20XX+1. Sitting in a small meeting room, Izzy is leaning back. His internship was almost up, and he had to deliver the unpleasant news that Hospital chain was canceling their support contract with us. Big Company was still going to offer other services, but they effectively used us to test out the system that they insisted on, that was never deployed before them, and no one deployed after. The thing was undocumented, unique, and not even the deployment guys had a solid idea of how to troubleshoot. Which meant this was fun. Co-worker, right. So, I've got a ticket for Hospital. They're having some credit card reconciliation problems. Manager, well, maybe Izzy should look at it. Izzy, co-worker actually knows their stuff here. What I can say is that their POS haven't sent out the sales. They've been having some trouble in the past with them, but they've stopped contacting us. What site is it and when? Co-worker, specific location, back from December, and they say they're missing $5,000. Context. I work at Big Company, offering support for point of sales, POS, devices. We also end up supporting peripherals, scanners, scales, receipt printers, etc., as well as related websites. However, I've managed to wiggle into credit card reconciliation, which makes me feel like a low-risk Sherlock Holmes. Back then, it's because there was a sort of a thrill to the chase, so to speak. Now it's because I can diagnose most issues at a glance, and be insufferable about it. This is a tale from my early career in IT, around the 6-month mark. I still wore dress shirts, though had dropped the tie. I had dress shoes. I worked hard to get here, and I was gunning to be brought on full-time. The cast. Me, Izzy. Yours truly. Aurelia, manager at 2 properties for Hospital chain. Since they both had the same issue, they're just getting lumped together here. Manager. Nice guy. Didn't entirely understand what I was doing, but knew to trust the people that were actually doing the jobs. The issue. Missing funds are a serious matter, but my group isn't responsible for making sure the field properly reconciles. At least, not anymore. Back at the time of the story, it was my job to reconcile for them as part of the troubleshooting process. At the time it was only about 3 months worth of information, for 2 properties. The information collection process is, slow. First, I need to go to reporting website to find out what the registers actually recorded day by day. Then, I need to go into program to see what was actually sent out. Finally, I need to go to Settle website to see what actually got sent to their bank. Between those 3, I can manage to find some trends. If program has more or less money than reporting website, then there was an issue with the registers, for instance. If dollar reporting website and dollar program are the same but dollar settle website is off, then either transactions were rejected, if short, or there might be duplicated transactions, if over. Dollar reporting website takes the longest, due to some clunky UI, website instability, and that, to make sure I don't need to pull this information again, I save a copy of every day for each location. Needless to say, it took me most of the workweek to get this done, because, of course, I still have other issues to work on. Lo and behold, they're missing. Less than $5,000, but close enough that I can excuse it being a shorthand. And I can pinpoint days as well. The problem with the high-level view, of course, is that it's high-level. I can pinpoint when the issues are, but not what the exact issue is for each day. So I dig in. This takes me about another day. It's a full week after I've looked up all this information. I've got hundreds of reports saved, some text documents, and others PDFs. I've got my spreadsheet looking, well, passable. I call Aurelia. $Me, hi, this is $Me from Big Company. I'm calling in regards to Dollar Ticket? $AU, oh, thank God. I've been waiting. So, you're going to write us a check, right? Me, we need to find out why the funds haven't transferred first. Now, I can see that there are a number of offline transactions. $AU, our transactions are always online. We wouldn't take any offline. This is not an uncommon reaction. The term offline transaction does conjure up a certain scenario, but the truth of the matter is that it's a shorthand term. In reality, a transaction is taken in an offline state when the registers are offline, the credit card reader is offline, or when there are sufficient delays in communication. Me, as we've discussed before, your network isn't really up to snuff. Have you contacted Local IT to investigate the matter? $AU, they said everything's fine. No problems. So, when can we expect the money? Me, right, so there's a large number of offline transactions that make up almost the entirety of the loss. These don't seem to have been replayed. $AU, she sighs in annoyance, the sound of someone begrudgingly going with the flow to say I told you so later. Fine. What do you need me to do? A call is scheduled during their slow time, which, coincidentally, is when my day is almost over due to the time zone difference. Still, I'm more than happy to provide this service. Some extra effort getting this missing money will be a boon. I wasn't even thinking of what would happen if the sales got declined or, worse, if transactions actually made it through. Me, alright, now I just need you to follow step 1, step 2. $AU, I've already done it. It's not there. Me, not there? Ha, that's way steps. Oh right, I provided you those steps. $AU, oh, you did? Her voice, for once, warms up, as if appreciative. Yeah, these worked great. Really helped us resolve our issue, since you guys took too long and weren't fixing it anyway. Me, what other issues? Did you open tickets? Did you ever send in the copies of those files? $AU, oh no, you guys always took so long. And they were always empty. So we just started deleting the files every day. Me, IU. What? Smoke comes out of Tizzy's ears. This would ruin his chance at a job. A good job. Not in a kitchen. A desk, and air conditioning, and a livable wage he could move out on. We need to look at all of the registers. Period. $AU, but this one dash. Me, every single register. Each property only had a couple of POS each, so it was quick per site, with the major delay being the drive between the two. As it turns out, Aurelia had indeed just been deleting the files. Now, that wasn't the end of the world because instead of using compact flash memory and a modified version of an older Windows like the rest of our POS, theirs had Windows 7 and an HDD. This meant that deleted items actually went to the recycling bin. Me, so, is anything in there? $AU, no. I didn't want those files corrupting anything else on my register. Knowing this was a situation of one person's word against another's, $Izzy considered himself to be up a well-known creek without a paddle. The only way to get in front of this potential storm was to fess up, throwing myself at Manager's mercy. Me, right. So, they were having problem, but they started to get impatient. I sent them written instructions on how to fix it, and gave them the warning. Instead of opening up new tickets, they handled it themselves. It also seems that they cleared their recycling bin, and since those files are deleted, it means the only record has been wiped, so they can't recover their sales. $MA, and they admitted this? $Me, error. Yes, actually. I don't have it in writing, but My manager calls Aurelia up immediately. It runs through the same sort of conversation flow. We need our check, this is your fault, you need to rectify this. $MA, so, Izzy told me that you deleted those files and didn't send them to us. Is that correct? $AU, yes. $MA, Izzy also told me you didn't open tickets for those times. Is that correct? $AU, she's getting increasingly annoyed, wanting nothing to do with silly things like confirming details. Yes. $MA, and you didn't send those files in to us to check them? $AU, for the last time, yes. $MA, alright. So, we're going to close this ticket because we can't help you. You deleted those sales without informing us of the problem or letting us confirm, so we're afraid this is your responsibility. At this point, I was waved off as my manager's manager was brought into the fold, and a liaison, and I got to walk away only slightly less worried than I had been. The aftermath. Aurelia and Hospital chain did continue to pester us to write them a check. The latter does make sense. It was a big company employee that was the cause of them not getting their sales, although to be honest, I'm not sure if they were given the full rundown or not. From Aurelia's standpoint, I like to imagine that she was on the hook for it all. She kept opening tickets up in an attempt to get something done, but we simply referenced $ticket and closed it out, stating that a decision had been made. It's bad enough that big company wasn't going to get its cut of those sales, but to write out a check for the missing funds on top of that would have still been worse. I was ultimately brought on full-time as well. I don't know if this incident had anything to do with it. Honestly, I'd like to think that it was my hard work that brought me on. Though, this even did teach me a couple of important lessons at the end of my internship. 1. An end user armed with knowledge isn't always better. 2. Keep everything documented.